Hi everyone, welcome to Outside the Box. This is part 3 of our series of election analysis in Dominica, and this is the part where we use the past to determine what to expect in the future. So we've been looking at the performance of both parties over the years, is what constituencies are their strengths and what constituencies are their weaknesses. First, I'm just going to discuss what has been going on throughout the past 5 elections.
I never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my stand and go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this.
We are now looking at all the years next to each other, so you can see what has the performance been like against each other for the parties in terms of the wins. So what I have here, these are the margins of the wins, the size of the win for each of the past 5 elections. Casabros in 1995, the United Workers' Party won by 25%. In 2000, they won by 4%. In 2005, the Dominica Labour Party won by 0.1%. 2009, the Dominica Labour Party won by 10%. And 2014, the Dominica Labour Party won by 9%. Right? So this is what it means here. Now, we're going to focus on 2014, although I have everything here so you can see the patterns and you can use it for reference for certain things. I'm not sure, but even further down in our analysis, you may be able to use those numbers to determine what's going on. You can see where each party strengthened. You can see also the pattern of wins, which party has won over the years, which constituencies are mostly red, which constituencies are mostly blue, which constituencies have been changing hands over the years, right? So this is what you can see from the history of the margins. The margin is the size of the win. So that margin would be what the increases and decreases that would have to happen in order for there to be a meeting and then a surpassing by the other party. Example, in 2014, in Casabros, the Dominica Labour Party won by 9%, right? So if we look, in order for the United Workers' Party to now win that constituency, they would have to come up 9%, or they would have to come up some of that 9%, and the Dominica Labour Party would have to come down some of that 9%, and depending on how far they come up or down, we could have the United Workers' Party now leading and the Dominica Labour Party now behind. So this is the importance of the margin. Now, if you have a 52% margin like we have in Coliho, we would have a larger area for decreases and increases to happen in order for there to be a change in the constituency. So we can see those places with those constituencies with the higher percentages like Coliho, Cottage, Grand Bay, and then Marigot, Paybush, Petit Savan, Portsmouth, and Vickers. These constituencies, the space between the winning and the losing party is so large that it might not be possible for the losing party to make up that space in this election. So the Dominica Labour Party and the United Workers' Party seats are in the different colors. So for the United Workers' Party seats, the Marigot seat, there's a 52% margin. So it's a very high margin. You would need 52% of increases and decreases in order to get them and to get the Dominica Labour Party to pass the United Workers' Party. So this is what I'm basing my analysis, I'm basing my predictions, and basing my expectations on that margin from 2014. Constituencies that changed, like the Roseau North constituency, the Dominica Labour Party had a 4% win in 2009. Right now, that was a very low percentage. Therefore, it's not so difficult for the United Workers' Party to win that seat and then have a 17% margin in that constituency. So the United Workers' Party won that seat with 17% more than the Labour Party in the next election. We also have a 5% win for the Dominica Labour Party in Wesley, turning into an 8% win for the United Workers' Party in Wesley. So those small percentage wins are easy to turn into a loss for that party. So it's very likely that those low percentages could change hands or remain with the same party depending on what exactly happens in the constituency over the period. So you can look at the margins in 2009 and in 2014. Let's look at which margins increased from 2009 and which decreased from 2009 to 2014. In Cassibus, the Dominica Labour Party lead decreased by 1%. The Colliho, it decreased by almost 20%. Then the Cottage constituency also decreased by almost 20%. The Grand Bay constituency decreased by almost 20% as well. The Lapland constituency increased by almost 9%. The Mao constituency decreased by 11% between 2009 and 2014. Now, if you look, the Mao constituency, the percentage margin is very small. And according to my analysis, the Mao constituency is not a safe constituency, and it is as unpredictable, if not more unpredictable, than the Lapland constituency and the Cassibus constituency and the Wesley constituency. So the Wesley constituency, the Mao constituency, and the Lapland constituency are just as unpredictable as each other. So contrary to popular beliefs, the Maho constituency is not as safe or stable as we are being led to believe. Right? So just keep that in mind. Then the Paybush constituency, there's a decrease of about 15%. The Pidit-Savan constituency, there was a decrease of almost 40%. So there's like a 26% decrease in Portsmouth constituency. We have United Workers' Party gaining about 2% in Roseau Central, back to how it was in 2005, back to the lead of 2005, when it first won that constituency. 3%, which is not a lot. The Roseau North winning by a much larger margin than the Dominica Labour Party won in 2009. The Roseau South constituency, the United Workers' Party only has a 6% margin. So there's only a 6% win in the for the United Workers' Party in the Roseau South constituency. Previous to that, the Dominica Labour Party won by 27%. Then in the Roseau Valley, it went from 17% in 2009 to 6% in 2014. Then in Salisbury, you have a slight decrease by 2%, which shows that, you know, the Salisbury constituency is really stable. So in the Salibia constituency, the Labour Party increased their margin by 3%. A decrease also in St. Joseph by 6%. An increase in Soufriere by 2%. And in Viecas, a decrease of 4%. Wesley, it was changed over, so the United Workers' Party got 8% more than the Dominica Labour Party in the Wesley constituency. Then we're going to look at exactly what we think is going to happen in each constituency for the 2020 elections, or not exactly what will happen, but the possibilities of what could happen in the 2020 elections for each of the constituencies. Let's look at what to expect for the next elections. So based on my studies and based on the numbers in the past, especially in the last election, where we saw the difference between each party's win in the various constituencies, I've categorized the different constituencies into three groups: the sure seats, the leaning seats, and the unpredictable seats. So what these are the possibilities of what could happen for the elections. In order to arrive at the possibilities of what could happen for the elections, we first have to look at the facts. What do we know about the constituencies? Now, if you look at here, you will see there's under status, you'll see sure seats. I consider these as sure seats because the margin between the two parties is very large. Especially if you look at the DLP side, you'll see Vacas, there's a margin of 70.9%. That margin is the gap between the Dominica Labour Party's share of votes in the last election compared to the United Workers' Party's share of votes. And in those constituencies being strongholds, there's nothing that has happened to cause such a large sway of votes from one party to another. And so if you look, you'll see under my sure seats, I have those three seats going to the United Workers' Party: Marigot, Roseau North, and Salisbury as three sure seats for the United Workers' Party, and the DLP having 7 sure seats, which are Vacas, Cottage, Grand Bay, Portsmouth, Paybush, Collyho, and Petit Savan. Marigot constituency, there's a lead of over 50%. In the Roseau North constituency, although the lead is only 16.5%, but we have to take into consideration that this time the Dominica Labour Party does not have a United Workers' Party former candidate and former PAL rep as their candidate. They have a new person who has never run for that constituency before, who has just betrayed the United Workers' Party. Nobody who actually voted for the United Workers' Party in the previous election is going to vote for Joseph Isaac under the Labour Party. So this is not going to happen. And I mean, Julius Timothy was a special case. Julius Timothy was a man known in the community. People still voted for him in the first election after he switched over. But after they were not satisfied with what he did, they switched right back to the party. So there's no way that voters are going to, United Workers' Party voters are going to vote for Joseph Isaac. It's not even like he had already run in that constituency, and so he had voters who actually voted for him. It's a completely new constituency. Joseph Isaac will only get the Labour Party votes in that constituency. The Roseau North constituency, the margin will be above 30%. Then in the Salisbury constituency, although it's not so high, but based on what we know about the constituency and based on what we know has been going on, there's nothing that is going to change 20% of the Salisbury voters to now vote for the Dominica Labour Party. Based on the numbers over the years, the Dominica Labour Party has been making increases in the Salisbury constituency. However, those increases have been like 2% increase, 2% increase. It has never been like a 20.9% increase. And I don't think anything has happened during those 5 years that will cause the Labour Party to increase by 20%. So these 3 seats are going to stay with the United Workers' Party for sure. Now the Dominica Labour Party's 7 sure seats is also based on that same principle that I just explained. I don't think that in the Vacas constituency there's anything that is going to make 70% of those people in the who have already voted for the Dominica Labour Party to change and vote for the United Workers' Party. So in order for that to happen, we would have to have the Dominica Labour Party decreasing significantly and the United Workers' Party increasing significantly. So it's not that likely for this to happen. So this 70.9% lead may decrease to a 20% lead, but it will still be a lead for the DLP. And I think the same thing of the other constituencies. I mean, the Cottage constituency, the Grand Bay, the Portsmouth, and Paybush constituency, as we know, they're very high. There's less likely to change. The Collyho constituency, I don't think it's likely to change as well. And the Petit Savan constituency, although the United Workers' Party has put in a new candidate and she may be getting more votes for the United Workers' Party than in the previous elections, but it's not going to be anything to take the United Workers' Party all the way across that 39.8% lead. So these 7 seats are going to stay with the Dominica Labour Party. So this is how it's going to be. So we have 7 seats for the DLP, short seats, and 3 short seats for the United Workers' Party. Then I have in yellow the leaning seats. Now the leaning seats are the seats where we have a percentage, a high-ish percentage, but it's easy to be decreased. Now the Soufriere constituency, I consider it leaning towards the Dominica Labour Party. The St. Joseph constituency, I also consider it leaning towards the Labour Party, but it's also possible. So for these 3 constituencies, although the Dominica Labour Party has a lead, it's much more possible for a decrease to happen in the Dominica Labour Party and an increase to happen in the United Workers' Party to bring them closer together and close the gap, or even bring the United Workers' Party ahead of the Dominica Labour Party in those 3 constituencies, especially in Salibia. So what's been going on with the Doctor story and so forth in the Kalinago territory, this could probably sway 10% of the votes to the United Workers' Party. And this could probably sway this would probably cause a decrease of 5%. Let's say if there's a 5% decrease in the Salibia constituency for the DLP, and there's a 10% increase in that constituency for the United Workers' Party, then it's possible that the Salibia seat could go to the United Workers' Party. Right? So currently, what we'll see is with everything remaining the same, those 3 seats could go to the Dominica Labour Party. However, out of those 3, it's more likely that the Salibia seat could go to the United Workers' Party as well. So what we have here are 3 seats that could lead either way. It could go to either of the parties. However, I think the Soufriere and the St. Joseph seats are more likely to stay with the Labour Party, and the Salibia seat is likely to go to the United Workers' Party, depending on how angry the Kalinago people are at the Dominica Labour Party. Then we look at the unpredictable constituencies. Now, these unpredictable constituencies are those constituencies that were won with less than 10% margin. Now, if we look at the short seats and leaning seats, we can see that the DLP could have 10 seats already before we consider the unpredictable seats. We look at the United Workers' Party could have 3 seats, or they could have 4 seats based on whether the Salibia constituency people are mad enough at the Dominica Labour Party. However, what we have here, based on the current situation and what things are like, we have 3 seats for the United Workers' Party, and we have 10 seats for the Dominica Labour Party. So among the unpredictable seats, I have there the Maho seat. Now, this is a surprise for some people because some people believe that the Blackmore is very strong in the Maho constituency. However, based on the numbers, based on the win of the last election, the Dominica Labour Party only had 7.8% more than the United Workers' Party. So the difference was just 7.8%, which puts it in my category of unpredictable constituencies. Because if the United Workers' Party gains 5% in Maho and the Labour Party just loses 4% or 3%, we can have the Maho constituency becoming a United Workers' Party constituency. So that Maho constituency is an unpredictable and unsafe seat, as much as people may think that it is a safe seat for the Dominica Labour Party. So I think that the United Workers' Party should have spent much more effort on the Maho constituency than they spent on it, because I believe that this is a constituency that they could be able to win in the next election if they focus their attention on that constituency. So surprise, surprise, Maho constituency is not a safe constituency. So if you have any doubts about the unpredictable constituencies in purple here, Think of all the constituencies where the Prime Minister changed his candidates and look at the list of unpredictable constituencies. You will see that Maho is the only constituency where the candidate was not changed. Dominica Labour Party saw that they needed to make changes in those constituencies because the margin was very small. So they needed to put more power on more new blood in the constituency to attract more votes and to gain an edge or to increase the edge. The Mao constituency, I think that with all what was going around with the Blackmore situation, Prime Minister just didn't want to change Blackmore. But based on everything, I think he would have had to change him. But I guess, you know, the safety, there's still 7%. I think he believed that 7% is untouchable. Petit Savan constituency, the reason for the change in the Petit Savan constituency had nothing to do with the performance of the PAREP, but it was to do with conflicts, internal conflicts between the candidate and the party, or the candidate and the leader, or whatever it was. So the only change that we see there is based on something else. Now the leaning seat, as we said, that leaning seat, that 12% is also low, so we can also see why Daru was removed from the Salibia seat as well, under the same considerations as the other changes in the seats. St. Joseph seat, it was changed because the current PAREP decided not to continue with the politics. So besides that, we have all the different changes happening in those unpredictable constituencies. So that should be some food for thought. So this is what I have here in terms of the general expectations of which are the sure seats, which may be leaning, and which ones are completely unpredictable. So in these 8 constituencies, anything can happen. Now, all these 8 constituencies can go to one party or they can go to the other. Is if the United Workers' Party gets the 3 sure seats, right? And they are not able to sway over those leaning seats, then they would have to get all these 8 seats in order to win. One scenario is that the Dominica Labour Party could win all those 3 leaning seats. So if the Salibia constituency stays with the Dominica Labour Party along with the Sufria and St. Joseph constituencies, then that means that the Dominica Labour Party would have 10 seats. In essence, since these would count already as 10 seats, the Dominica Labour Party would only need to win 1 more of those purple seats in order to win the election. They could win Mao seat, they could win Casablanca seat, they could win the Wesley seat, the Roseau South seat, Roseau North seat. Any one of those 8 seats in the purple area would give the Labour Party a victory. So they would only need to win 1 of those seats. Now, since a lot of people believe that the Mao seat is a Dominica Labour Party seat, then if you expect the Mao seat to be won by the Dominica Labour Party, that means all the Dominica Labour Party really has to win is the Salibia and St. Joseph seats. Now, let's look at the United Workers' Party's possibilities. Now, in that case, the United Workers' Party would have to win all the unpredictable seats in order to win. So if the United Workers' Party cannot sway the Sufria, St. Joseph and Salibia constituencies on their side, then they would need all those purple seats in order to add all the 8 purple seats in order to add to their 3 sure seats to make 11 seats. Right? Now, if let's say the Salibia seat goes over to the United Workers' Party, that means that the United Workers' Party would need the Casablanca seat in order to win. So in that situation there, we have the Salibia seat going to the United Workers' Party. If the St. Joseph seat stays with the Dominica Labour Party, then the Dominica Labour Party would only need one of those purple seats with Maho. Or they would need 2 seats. Whether they win or lose Maho, they would just need 2 seats from those purple seats in order to win. So there are many different possibilities and many different combinations that could put either the Dominica Labour Party or the United Workers' Party as the winner of the 2020 elections. I believe that the constituency that really is the game changer here is the Salibia constituency, because the Salibia constituency can be considered one of the possibilities for the Dominica Labour Party. But if the Dominica Labour Party loses the Salibia constituency, then they would need to have to win 2 of the other constituencies. So in order for United Workers' Party to win this election, they have to win either Salibia or St. Joseph, along with all those purple constituencies. So the Lapland seat, Roseau South, Roseau Valley, Roseau Central, Monjon, Wesley, and Castle seat must be won by the United Workers' Party in order for them to win the election. So if they have all those seats, then they would only need Salibia or the St. Joseph seat. So these are the possibilities for the 2 parties in terms of what can happen and what cannot happen. So this has been a little bit of insight into the election for 2019, and so I do hope that everyone is aware of the possibilities, and so they pay special attention to exercising their rights to vote, especially in those constituencies that I have classified as unpredictable constituencies. Your vote is very important. So in order for you to ensure that your party wins the constituency, then everyone needs to go out to vote. So thank you very much, and I appreciate you listening to my video, and please exercise your rights to vote.